Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Rob.
So today we're going to be counting down our top 5 of 2019.
Five time.
So Rob, 2019 was a pretty solid year for movies.
Yes, it was, Adrian. Yes, it was. It was very solid. It was a very strong year this year. There was a lot of top contenders that were trying to make it into my top 5, but only 5 were allowed. As I texted you and asked, and you said, "No, Rob, only 5 are allowed."
Hey, we got to keep the video short.
Yeah. Anyways, how do you want to get this going?
Yeah, well, before we jump into it, why don't we give shout outs to our honorable mentions, the ones that didn't quite make the top 5. So I don't know, do you have any that you want to?
Well, there was a few, but I only chose a couple to keep to my mind.
Okay.
As crazy as the ending was to this movie, I really enjoyed Ready or Not.
Okay.
Just overall, with the exception of the last 10 minutes, this movie was awesome. I'm a little up in the air about the last 10 minutes.
Okay, so 90% of the movie.
Yeah,
was
90%
good.
of the movie was good. That
The last
10%.
10% kind
Yeah,
of like,
yeah. Also,
it was entertaining. I'll give you
yeah.
that.
Also, Us was
Us.
another honorable mention. It didn't make my top 5 for a reason, but it's in there just because I enjoyed the mental how it makes your mind think, and it's kind of the premise of the movie. So, hey, what are your honorable mentions?
I will say I have about like maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, shoot them out.
It's
Let's hear them.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I saw about 2 months ago, right close to when it came out. Very emotional, very good film. Actually, I really enjoyed all the performances by the supporting cast more so than Tom Hanks. I thought Tom Hanks did a good job, but again, he still my biggest problem was he felt like Tom Hanks, but he still gave a good, solid performance. Very good film. Check it out. Peanut Butter Falcon, which was we saw the
Wow. I mean, I didn't. Okay, so sorry to interrupt. I didn't see Peanut Butter Falcon, but I've heard you rave about it ever since you saw it, and for it not to make your top 5, I'm just like, I'm really curious to see what is in your top 5.
Okay, we got
So, I'm
some
sorry.
good ones. That one's really good.
Okay.
Shia gives the resurgence of Shia coming back. Another Shia film, Honey Boy. That one was really deep, emotional, showing the impact and the relationship of his father and how that sort of toxic relationship can kind of shape who you can become and the effect that it has on you. Very, very strong performances. Lucas Hedges. It was a great film. Another one, which might be a surprise, is Fighting with My Family.
Ooh, that was also in my honorable mentions, but I just did not mention it
I
until now.
really enjoyed this film. Very lighthearted, made you feel good. Florence Pugh, who's having a breakout year with Midsummer, Little Women, and this film, and her ability and showing her range as an actress to do a physical role like this, and you can tell she's in there doing the moves and getting physical and wrestling there. She pulls off a great performance. It's a really solid film. I really enjoyed it.
I know you're a wrestling fan, and I'm also a wrestling fan. So this movie was up there on the list for me
It's
just
good
because
for-
it's a
for-
good story about
Yeah,
Paige.
even if
and
you're not a wrestling fan, it's definitely worth the
Oh, yeah,
check
yeah,
out because
definitely.
it's very good.
it just
and
adds a
entertaining.
little more flavor because I am a wrestling
Yeah.
fan, and
Yeah,
and
Nick Frost is great, by the way, too. He's really good. Anyway, so why don't we jump into it? Our top 5, we'll count them down.
All right.
We'll go 5 and we'll go back and forth and we'll work our way down.
All right,
How
sounds
about
good.
that? Okay, so Rob, why don't you start us off? What's your number 5?
Well, my number 5 of the year is Shazam.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Shazam. I really enjoyed it. I feel like the DC, the movie universe kind of hit a good stride with this movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I'm not counting like the Nolan or any. I'm just talking about
You're talking about this current
the
DCU,
current
whatever they call it.
whatever they're
now.
calling it. I feel like Shazam kind of put them back on the tracks, and this was a great superhero movie. a great family movie. Just
Wait. Would you consider it a great Christmas movie?
You know what? It does take place around Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then with the whole family factor and
Adrian, it is also a great Christmas movie.
there you go.
So there you go. Add another one to the list. But yeah, so Shazam comes in at number 5 for me, just for all those reasons I mentioned, plus some more. But I'm gonna keep this video short. What about you? What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Ford versus Ferrari.
Ooh, I did not see that one. So
The performances and the chemistry between Bale and Damon are, spot on. They're some of the best you'll see this year. The racing sequences, very intense. That sound design and editing that you get in there, the shots that they get. It is a really well-rounded film. It's a throwback to a classic.
right, that's
American,
throwback to those.
sports film in a sense, because it is about, racing and it is a sport, and my dogs agree with me.
Your dogs. I don't know if they agree or disagree with you, but they're
think they
excited
agree.
about Ford v Ferrari.
Yes. So Rob, what's your number 4?
My number 4, Adrian, is Knives Out. More recently just released, but I love the kind of whodunit, Clue. I'm always gonna refer back to Clue, but also the way Daniel Craig acted in this movie. That kind of
There's a hole in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a donut hole. But
Exactly.
The donut hole has a hole.
Just the whole the plots, the twisting in the plots.
Yeah.
Honestly, Daniel Craig kind of put this movie over the top for me, just because the way
After we had our conversation about it,
Go ahead.
and I had my reservations, and you guys can check out that review. By the
go
way.
ahead and check that movie out.
But I had to think about it, and to the point that you had brought out was that it is a little bit more like a dark comedy,
Right.
and seeing that. So I think maybe my thing is why I didn't like it so much is because I was taking it a little too serious.
Yes, when you cannot take this movie
And so as
super
I
serious.
thought about it more, and I thought, yeah, this is actually a pretty solid film. So
Right. Here's the weird thing is you called it a dark comedy. Well, I just think it's just a comedy. So I don't know. That's
I mean, murder is kind of a dark subject. I don't know.
it's kind of funny
Whatever.
in the movie. Anyways, but no, it's a funny movie. Good twists and turns on the way. Everyone plays their role, in my opinion, really good to almost great. Again, like how the agreements or what you were saying about, you gotta kind of take it as it is. And it's a little bit twisted comedy, dark comedy, if you will. But that's my number 4. Adrian, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is
Do you remember?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
What? Oh wow! Okay,
Now
go ahead.
I wrestled
Go ahead.
I wrestled back and forth
Go ahead.
with my number 3 on this one.
Okay.
Like, so I think this could be basically it's like a tie for number 3. So it's
Okay.
like depending on how I'm feeling that day.
But you chose to
would
put it
be-
at number 4 today.
I think
the
right
day
now-
we decided to shoot a video, you chose to put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at number 4. Explain why.
I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was very solid. It's Quentin Tarantino's love letter to classic Hollywood. The changing of the guard, so to speak, where we're going from television and the old star and the kind of the way things are changing.
Right.
And it's also kind of relevant.
Are you
to
crying?
now-
Are you getting emotional?
a little bit.
All right.
It is kind of relevant to now, where you see that there aren't really many like big movie stars anymore, and it's kind of ironic that I would feel like DiCaprio and maybe Brad Pitt are kind of like the last of like a dying breed, like the big
Whoa.
movie star that sell movies.
Well, we have The Rock. Don't forget about Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I guess you can put him in there, but again,
No, I get
chemistry
what- I get
between
what
the-
you're saying. I get
Yeah,
what
the
you're saying.
chemistry between the two is it's perfect, and
Yes.
and just I could sit and watch a movie maybe of just these guys riding in a car all day long, like
Oh yeah.
and it's perfect, and I really thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I think everybody should check it out and give it a watch. Even if you didn't like it, watch it again. Maybe you'll like it a second time.
If you don't, watch it a third time.
There you go. Rob, what's your number 3?
Adrian, my number 3 is a little funny, I guess. The Joker is, or just Joker is my number 3.
Joker.
It's. I feel like this movie was very controversial when it came out into now. I feel like it's died down a little, but I want to say I love this movie. Just, I mean, it's not really a Joker movie kind of till the end, but you see, and it made me actually, this is why I kind of put it so high, because after I watched this movie and I went home and I thought about it, as one does with movies, I was just like, man, like, what if this happened this way instead of this way? Would he have turned out this way, or would he have snapped this way? Or you kind of watch the mental breakdown of a man, and I mean, I don't want to sound kind of unsensitive, but it was very interesting to watch because this happens. This happens to real life people, and it made me look at this movie and kind of put it out in real, like, see it in real time, in real life, and be like, maybe I could be nicer to Adrian so he doesn't come behind me and choke me one day. So
I would never do that, Rob. Ever.
Anyways, that's my number 3, Adrian. And I mean, the Joaquin, I mean, his
performance.
If he doesn't win, the very least he should be nominated for.
I think he will be nominated.
Best
Whether
actor.
or not he'll win, that's
my opinion. My opinion. He, I feel like it should be his.
Fair enough.
There's other people who I would say like, oh, maybe them, but right now I would say Joaquin. The rest of the performance he gives in this movie is epic. Anyways, not to dampen the mood, but Joker's my number 3. Adrian, what is your number 3?
My number 3, Rob, is 1917.
Ooh, nice.
That one is one of the best war films that I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
It is intense. The story gets you invested into these two characters with the idea of this soldier along with his friend having to go across enemy lines or deep into enemy territory to go help stop the infantry, but also his brother, to save them. And, the way it was shot from a technical standpoint, from everything, and then the way it builds the intensity, and you're sitting there, gripping your seat, and you're just kind of like on the edge of your seat, and it does not let go to the very end.
Right.
And at the very end, where there's that very deep emotional moment that just kind of gets you. And
but you almost take a sigh of breath. With the characters.
Once it's over, you're like.
Yeah.
But again, that emotion that you feel at the very end too, when I don't want to spoil anything, but with the character and what he's looking at there, and it just gets you. Right. You get kind of choked up. It is a very good film, and I recommend everybody go see it. It's in limited right now. Yeah. It opens wide January 10th. But that's my number 3.
All right. That's
Rob,
my number 3.
What is your number 2?
All right, Adrian. I wrestled between my number 1 and number 2, and my number 2 is 1917.
Oh, there you go.
For pretty much all the reasons you just said, I'll just add a couple other reasons. The way this movie is shot, that's pretty much what stood out to me. Obviously, the acting was good. The way they put them, everything looked amazing. But the way this movie was shot is pretty much just, in my mind, like mind blowing. It's an epic, visually, it's an epic movie, along with all the stuff that you just mentioned. So this is why this movie in this year, or 2019, was my number 2 on my list.
Wow, there you go. So number 2.
Wait, the number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, number 2. Man, I'm losing track. All right. What's your number 2, Adrian?
My number 2 is Joker.
Yes, good number 2.
Joker, for a lot of the same reasons, but I just want to mention, or I want to kind of point out that just on a technical standpoint, it is almost a near flawless film on every level, to cinematography, to set design, to costume design, the costuming, to the score. The score.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful score.
The feel that it just kind of lets you a little.
You're crying again, Adrian.
Unnerved and the performances by Joaquin Phoenix, by Zazie Beetz, by the other actors in there that I
De
can't
Niro.
think of off the
De
top of my
Niro.
head. De Niro, you know, and then the direction by Todd Phillips. It is just a near perfect film. And then again, it is what makes it even more special is it's a film that creates conversation
Yes.
about the character and about society and how it treats its mentally disabled people
Right.
and how it handles that. And so it is just a really solid film, and it is, yes, it is dark, and yes, it is a bit disturbing at times, but it is what cinema is. It causes you to look at things differently and have a conversation, and
Right.
that's what makes this film so great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
So now is that time, Rob. What is your number one film of 2019?
Adrian, I've thought about this for a while. And I thought it was going to get overtaken because this movie came out earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But my number one film is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wow, there you go.
Yes. So, I mean, you already mentioned it, but I mean, Brad Pitt and Leo's my favorite actor working right now. But just the way they, just their, what's the word I'm looking for? What do we have? Chemistry. Yes. Just their chemistry together.
I didn't know we had that.
We do have that. So you knocked that off right now.
Wow.
I want all that negativity. Their chemistry that they have on camera is just amazing, and both of them just do. There's little like I've watched, like I told you earlier. I bought this movie. I've watched it several times, and there's little things that I pick up on Leo, his acting that he does, and little this thing or that thing, and it's just it's like, man, this guy's just awesome.
Yes.
The way he pulled the way he has his bad take, and then he comes back and has this amazing take, and I joke around all the time. I'm like, that's the best act, like kind of messing around, but just Leo's performance and hit, like you said earlier, I could watch him and Brad Pitt, in a car having a conversation, for 2 hours, because I would be interested. That's how much they pulled me into this movie. Tarantino did a great job with this movie. Love letter to Hollywood. Just the way, you may even like the canned dog food was the right, just all the little stuff that
all the little details.
Yeah, it makes this movie.
much
That's why it just makes this movie number one for me, because all the little details, you get your Tarantino, type of movie.
Yeah.
But, then you get some amazing acting by Brad Pitt. Not even just them two. Everyone in the movie does an amazing job, and that's why it's my number one.
There you go.
Adrian, it's time for you to reveal your number one.
Well, here's my number one.
Because we've all been waiting for it this whole entire time. That's all we're here. Danny, are you ready for Adrian's number one?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. Go.
My number one of 2019 is Jojo Rabbit.
You know what? Okay, so
Hey, did you see it?
here's the thing. I did not see Jojo Rabbit, and this is, I was waiting for us to do this. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just want to say this. I was waiting for us to do this because I knew there was movies that you saw that I didn't see that you were raving about, which is why I thought Peanut Butter Falcon would be higher up.
Yeah.
But this is awesome. Like just it's like we talk about the same stuff, and I feel like our list had similarities, but then
We had some of them kind of crossed over.
Yeah, and then some of them were off, in totally different ways. So, tell us why Jojo Rabbit was. You've told me several times, but tell the world.
I think Jojo Rabbit really is a special film because its ability to blend comedy with such a dark situation and also have a lot of heart and have a very important message about acceptance and about, the differences between people, and that, maybe we're not all that much different, and it works on so many levels. I think Taika Waititi did such a great job. The cast is just great. Those two young boys, I can't remember their names right now. The actors, they're perfect. Scarlett Johansson did a really great job. Stephen Merchant had a really hilarious cameo. Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, just a great cast. And again, it was something that kind of just stuck with me. It left me feeling good by the end of it, and kind of positive at the end of it. And it's just a really solid film, and I think people should go check it out right now. I think it's coming out on digital, I think this next week. So you guys should go check it out. It is a really solid film, and you know what? That's why it's my number one.
All right. Those all sound like it should be your number one movie.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching our top 5 of 2019. Why don't you comment down below and let us know what your top 5 are of this year or of this past year. And don't forget to click like, subscribe, share, and also follow us on Instagram at On the Fence Movie Reviews.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.